Text us at 4215. And we're talking about the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Center. They have launched the UAE's first government-backed startup studio that will take startups from idea to company. And we're happy to have with us live on the air Karan Deep, Entrepreneurship Development Director at Sheraa, to talk to us about this. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you all?
We're doing great. I hope you're doing fantastic. Let's start. Could you give us an overview of what Sharjah Startup Studio exactly is?
Sure. So firstly, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. So Sharjah Startup Studio, or S3, is the latest initiative by Sheraa. We have designed it to really build profitable, high growth and enduring companies to boost the economy of the UAE and the region. So Sheraa has been active for 5 years, running accelerators, focusing on idea stage to Series A. And we've really taken our learnings from this last 5 years and built a unique venture building studio that really goes beyond traditional education and mentorship-based programs. Sheraa, the S3, acts as the co-founders, rolls up our sleeves and gets down and dirty with the actual building blocks of the startups. So S3 brings the founders together with subject matter experts, product designers, developers, and growth marketers. And what we do, what makes S3 unique, is that it's a three-phased approach to building a company. We first test and validate their idea if it actually makes sense in the market. We build the initial product, and then we launch the company with them to initial products, initial customers, and revenue. So like you said, S3 is the first government studio in the UAE, and we really built it to foster homegrown entrepreneurship success.
Now, I'd like to ask a little bit more in terms of how you, with your services and with this new government-backed initiative, are going to be supporting the revenue sharing model and help fund these startups, and as well as maybe supporting the young graduates that will be emerging and graduating from the universities. So what's the overall plan over here?
Yeah, thanks for that. So at Sheraa, for us, it's founder first. We believe in being the most founder friendly. Now, the most common investment model out there is the equity investment. Mm-hmm. But we've done something new, and it's for the first time in this region. We're launching a revenue share model. So founders don't have to give up any ownership of their company, and we take no board seats. And what happens is they just give a nominal revenue of their annual revenue to our partners, giving the first year as grace period. We also go over and above that and offer them mentorship, $30,000 in seed funding, access to a large pool of mentors, and $100,000 in perks and incentives. Education is a strong point of focus for Sharjah and Sheraa, and we actively collaborate with universities to upskill talent and build the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we will be focusing with them throughout this year through boot camps, workshops, and connecting them with investors, partners, and other growth opportunities.
And a quick question as well. Could you talk to us about after graduating from the startup studio, what kind of support do you offer those people?
So we at Sheraa say that whenever you graduate from one of our programs, you're part of our family.
Yeah.
Our support to you is lifelong. We in fact have regular catch-ups and call-ins with all of our alumni companies and portfolio companies just to see how they're doing and how can we support them. We often engage. We often organize engagement days and connect them with investors. But for us, it's not only getting access to funding that's important for us, it's access to actual business and revenue. So we do regularly connect them with other corporates and government entities to take their products further.
And can you please talk to us about Sheraa's collaboration with the Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park for this initiative?
We've collaborated with SRTIP, and that has many benefits for us and our startups that include business licensing, co-working space, and more. Sheraa and SRTIP will collaborate to host joint entrepreneurial competitions and programs to really collectively build the knowledge economy of the UAE. Our startups will be getting subsidized licenses and subsidized co-working spaces. And we know that these are often big costs for the company. So this collaboration really goes a long way in making this setup and scale much quicker, cheaper, and easier.
And startups in particular are driving the UAE's digital transformation and fostering innovation as well. Can you talk to us about how those startups are shaping up the region and the role that Sheraa plays in that?
So the region is buzzing and has been buzzing for a long time. And I think the pandemic has boosted several industries all the way from education technology, health technology, and more. 2019 and 2020 saw some record deals in number of investments, and last year in fact crossed $1 billion in investment. And not sure if you've heard, but just yesterday, Anghami, the region's leading music streaming service, became the first Arab or MENA-based tech company to be based in the Nasdaq. Sheraa has really gone towards contributing towards that economy. So Sheraa over the last 5 years has 114 portfolio companies or alumni companies that have gone and generated over $130 million in revenue, raised over $75 million in funding, and created over 1,300 jobs. Some of the numbers that we're really proud of is that 16% of all our portfolio companies are Emirati-led, and 50% of them are female-led. And those are numbers we're very proud of.
And beyond the Sharjah Startup Studio, what does Sheraa have on the horizon as far as the work you guys plan on doing in the future?
Yeah, so S3, however big the announcement is just first of our many big announcements for this year. And we're seeing how can we really help boost economy, build the best people, and build the best companies. We're in fact launching our 5-year impact report next month, which is going to highlight some of the milestones and key highlights of Sheraa over the last 5 years. We are also launching a unique incentive package called Access Sharjah, which is a series of benefits and incentives for company scale, setup, business licensing, and more to help startups in the region and even in the world look at Sharjah and UAE as setting up their headquarters. So we're not only building founders and startups within UAE, but we're also boosting to attract more talent into the UAE.
Well, it certainly is going to be a real magnet for these young entrepreneurs as well. Now, I'd like to ask you, Karan, I know the S3 was launched a week ago. What's the level of interest that you've seen and the people who've signed up for S3 so far been like?
It's been pleasantly surprising. That's all I can say. I was quite pleasantly taken back by the traction in the ecosystem that this news created. It has had people talking about it. We've had many outlets talking about it, and a lot of people have reached out. We've already received over between 100 and 150 applications, and I would say that's a really good number because our application form is quite lengthy by design. We want to work with the best founders. So we've been really pleased, and in fact now we're in our shortlisting process. And it's a very lengthy, robust shortlisting process. We want to work with quality over quantity, and we're going to work with only between 5 to 10 companies for this year of S3. Yeah. So one of the differences is not a traditional accelerator. It's not a cohort-based system. It's a personalized white glove approach to each startup.
Wow, this is going to be very interesting. So only 5 to 10 will make it. Well, we wish you all the very best with this new venture that we've got for the S3 and for Sheraa. And thank you very much for joining us this morning.
So much pleasure to be here.
Well, it certainly was. For that's the time that we have for now. Lots of discussions have been lined up here on the Morning Majlis for all of you. We'll be back again after the business news headlines, and this time we'll be speaking to Sharjah Police about their Innovation Award. Stay tuned to Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.